Did you know that your favorite evening ritual might be the very thing accelerating your biological clock by an entire decade? While you think you are simply unwinding from a long day, a hidden process called inflammaging is likely turning your cellular health into a silent battlefield. For many individuals over 40, the transition into the evening hours feels like a well-deserved time for a small comfort, often in the form of a snack. However, modern longevity research has identified a specific category of food that acts as a primary fuel source for systemic inflammation. This process is not the immediate swelling you see from an injury, but a slow, smoldering fire that degrades your tissues from the inside out. Scientists now refer to this phenomenon as inflammaging, a term that combines the words inflammation and aging to describe a critical biological decline. When you consume a snack high in refined sugars or processed carbohydrates late at night, you are effectively signaling your body to stop the repair process. At this stage of life, our metabolic flexibility begins to decrease, meaning our cells cannot process energy as efficiently as they once did. The most dangerous nightly snack is often the one we consider a light treat, such as a bowl of cereal, a handful of crackers, or even flavored yogurt. These items are frequently packed with hidden sugars and refined grains that cause a rapid spike in your blood glucose levels. Because your activity levels are lowest at night, your body has nowhere to send this sudden surge of energy. As a result, the excess sugar begins to circulate in your bloodstream, seeking out proteins to bond with in a process called glycation. Glycation creates harmful compounds known as advanced glycation end products, which are fittingly abbreviated as AGEs. These AGEs act like molecular glue, sticking to the collagen and elastin fibers that keep your skin supple and your joints flexible. When your collagen becomes glycated, it loses its ability to bounce back, leading to deeper wrinkles and the morning stiffness many of us mistake for just getting older. But the damage of the nightly snack goes far beyond the surface of your skin and deep into your internal organs. Your cardiovascular system is particularly vulnerable to the low-grade inflammation triggered by these nightly glucose spikes. Chronic inflammation damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium, which is essential for healthy blood flow. Furthermore, the timing of this snack is just as critical as the ingredients themselves. As the sun goes down, your body naturally begins to increase its production of melatonin to prepare for restorative sleep. However, melatonin is not just a sleep hormone, it is also one of the most powerful antioxidants produced by the human body. When you eat a high-sugar snack late at night, the resulting insulin spike can actually interfere with the optimal release of melatonin. This disruption robs your brain of its nightly cleaning cycle, where toxins are flushed out of the neural pathways while you sleep. If you have ever woken up with brain fog, or felt like your memory isn't as sharp as it used to be, your nightly snack might be the culprit. Beyond the brain, your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your digestive tract, is also deeply affected by late-night feeding. Processed snacks often contain emulsifiers and stabilizers that can degrade the protective mucus lining of your intestines. When this barrier is weakened, small particles of undigested food and bacterial toxins can leak into your bloodstream. The immune system recognizes these invaders and launches a systemic inflammatory response to protect you. This constant state of high alert is exhausting for the body and diverts precious energy away from cellular repair and muscle maintenance. Love this video? You'll enjoy what's linked in the description too. Don't miss out. For those of us over 40, the preservation of muscle mass is one of the most important factors for long-term health and mobility. By fueling inflammation every night, you are inadvertently making it harder for your body to maintain the strength you need for an active lifestyle. You may be wondering why the food industry markets these very snacks as healthy or low-fat options for a light evening bite. The reality is that many low-fat snacks replace fat with sugar or artificial sweeteners to maintain flavor, which is arguably worse for inflammation. Even common seed oils found in many processed crackers, such as soybean or corn oil, are high in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6 is an essential nutrient, the modern diet provides it in such massive quantities that it tilts the body toward a pro-inflammatory state. You don't actually have to go to bed with a growling stomach to fix this problem. There is a powerful and scientifically backed controversial shift you can make that turns your sleep into a period of intense rejuvenation. The secret lies in understanding a biological process called autophagy, which is the body's natural way of taking out the trash. Autophagy is a Greek term that literally translates to self-eating, and it describes how your cells recycle their own damaged components. This process only reaches its peak efficiency when you have been in a fasted state for several hours, typically during sleep. When you eat a snack right before bed, you provide your cells with fresh fuel, which signals them to stop the recycling process. Essentially, you are telling your cellular maintenance crew to go home before they have even started their shift. Over years and decades, the failure to engage in autophagy leads to the accumulation of cellular waste, which is a hallmark of rapid aging. So what is the controversial swap that can help you reverse this trend and feel 10 years younger? The first step is to establish a kitchen closing time that is at least 3 hours before your planned bedtime. This window of time allows your insulin levels to drop back to a baseline state, signaling to your body that it is time to switch from growth mode to repair mode. If you truly feel the need for a nightly ritual, the swap involves moving away from carbohydrates and toward high-quality fats and specific polyphenols. A small handful of raw walnuts, for example, provides healthy omega-3 fatty acids that actually help to dampen the inflammatory response. Walnuts also contain small amounts of naturally occurring melatonin, which supports a more restful and restorative sleep cycle. Another powerful ally in the fight against inflammaging is tart cherry juice, provided it is unsweetened and consumed in small amounts. Tart cherries are rich in anthocyanins, which are potent anti-inflammatory compounds that have been shown to reduce muscle soreness and joint pain. By making this shift, you are no longer fueling the fire of inflammation. You are providing the tools your body needs to rebuild itself. Imagine waking up without that persistent ache in your lower back or the stiffness in your hands that has become so familiar. Imagine having the mental clarity to tackle your most challenging tasks before you even have your first cup of coffee. This isn't a pipe dream. It is the predictable result of aligning your nutrition with your body's natural circadian rhythms. We often think of aging as a linear decline that we have no control over, but the science of epigenetics tells a different story. Your daily choices, especially what you eat in the hours before sleep, act as switches that can turn on longevity genes or disease genes. When you avoid the inflammatory nightly snack, you are turning on the SIR1 gene, often called the longevity gene, which helps protect your DNA. This gene is responsible for repairing the telomeres at the ends of your chromosomes, which act like the plastic tips on shoelaces to prevent fraying. The longer and healthier your telomeres are, the more times your cells can successfully divide and renew your tissues. Therefore, the decision to skip that late-night bowl of ice cream or bag of chips is a direct investment in the length of your life. It is also an investment in the quality of those years, ensuring that you remain vibrant, mobile, and mentally sharp for decades to come. Join our community and never miss out on new content. Subscribe today. Many people find that within just 2 weeks of making this change, their energy levels stabilize and their afternoon slump disappears. This happens because your body becomes more metabolically flexible, learning how to burn stored body fat for fuel instead of relying on a constant stream of sugar. As your systemic inflammation levels drop, you will also likely notice a reduction in water retention and facial puffiness. Your skin may begin to regain some of its natural radiance as the burden of glycation is lifted from your collagen fibers. The most exciting part is that it is never too late to start this process, regardless of how many years you have spent with poor snacking habits. The human body is designed for survival and repair. It is simply waiting for you to provide the right environment to do so. Stop thinking of the evening snack as a reward and start seeing the 3-hour fasting window as the ultimate gift of health to yourself. As you sit in your living room tonight, remember that the fire of inflammaging is either being stoked or extinguished by your next choice. Choose the path of longevity, choose the path of repair, and choose to respect the incredible biological machine that carries you through life. Are you over 40 and living your best life? Share your inspiring story with the world and spread positivity in the comments below. Discover the most manageable approach to intermittent fasting designed specifically for bodies over 40. Let's watch the next video here.